my team, nobody has reached out according to them, so we'll definitely love to continue the conversation. So, hey, Nikki,
Good morning. How's it going?
good. Welcome to our Freestyle Friday with our team. And I'm glad you are here and able to join us. And so, would love to connect with you. Easy Home Search is a new lead source for us. And we were role playing a scenario with another lead source. And so, yeah, would love to connect with you and hear a few things. You could give a broad spectrum on, how to really capture these internet leads. And then if you want to contextualize it to best practices for easy home search, that would be helpful. And then lastly, any advice you have based on your experience and what you've seen over the years with internet leads, that would be great as well.
Awesome. Well, good morning, y'all. Thanks for having me. So, y'all have an idea of my background. It's exclusively in inside sales, meaning everything that I'm going to tell you is after having completed lead generation exclusively. I averaged more than 100 closings each year as an ISA. So, when I tell you, hey, these things work, I not only am telling you from personal experience, but also from coaching teams now across the US and Canada. That being said, we're going to start with some of the basics, which are when we first get on the phone. As of right now, if you call a lead that it's your first time calling, and let's say it's an easy home search lead, what would you say?
Uh, that's what I hear on the phones.
Ask the question one more time. Ask the question one more time.
You call a lead and it's your first time calling for today. Let's say it's an easy home search lead. What is it that you would say when you make that call?
So this is Camellia. I'll go first. What I do is I normally get them, if I can get them on the phone or if I don't get them on the phone, I'll just let them know one, my name, where I'm calling from. And then I'll say, I see that you register on our website, easyhomesearch.com. How can I assist you in your needs? What are you looking for? So I can help narrow it down. Try to
And
get that.
let's pause there because I want us to break it down piece by piece. So you call, you say name, where you're from, and that they registered. And if I say at that point, no, I didn't register for anything, what do we say?
Then I do get kind of dumbfounded. And I'm like, well, are you sure you didn't register for a website? I see here I have your information.
Yep.
And then I kind of go into a little bit like, were you looking for a home at that point?
Yep. Okay. So I ask y'all that because I've done it so many times. And what happens? We present them accidentally with an objection because if they say no or they're not in the mood that day, now we're arguing 10 seconds into the call, back and forth. Yes, you did. I know you did. So here's how we are going to eliminate that. When you make your call, you would say, and let's say it's Camila. Did I say that right?
Camellia.
Camellia.
Amelia with a C. Camellia.
I love that. My cat's name is Amelia, so I have a special place in my heart for it, okay? So I would say, hey, Camellia, this is Nikki out in Myrtle Beach. I'm the one who's been sending you listings. I'm double checking to see, are you still looking? That's it. All right. Now I'm claiming all responsibility. Now, where I hear some agents nervous about that is, but Nikki, I haven't sent them anything. I haven't sent them listings. They're getting listings from somebody. It is so much better for them to think that it's from you. And I can't tell you how many people respond with familiarity. Oh, yeah, I've been getting them. I've been seeing them. That works in your favor. The worst case scenario there is that somebody tells you, I'm not getting any listings from you. And if they say, I'm not getting listings from you, that's a much shorter objection. That's funny. On my end, it shows that it's sending. I'll get that taken care of before the end of the call. Tell me, were you looking at a place for yourself or an investment property? Now we're right in the swing of criteria. Okay. So that is the intro I would have all of us switch to, not only for your easy home search leads, but any of your pond leads. Okay. All good there?
Yeah, and so I'll let you continue on, but I want you to, we're going to stay on this path, but I will also love for you to talk about that approach versus ALM that is required by other lead sources, and how those two integrate with one another.
Sure.
Yeah, you don't have to do it now, but just keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell y'all this, as we're going to go through these things, some of them are going to be a friendly reminder, right? A refresher. I knew that, maybe I haven't done it in a little while, but some of them might be brand new. My goal for y'all is that you have something you can implement at the end. All right. So take notes as we go, and then you can use whatever applies best for your scenarios. Okay. Now we're going to circle back to the ALM part. All right. Let me ask y'all, what state are y'all in as of right now?
We're in North and South Carolina. So we're in the Charlotte area, but we also we're on the border of Charlotte, North Carolina, and like the Fort Mill, York, South Carolina. So we cover 2 states.
Okay, got it. So the one thing I will tell y'all is that for your state, if it is required in North Carolina that you say your brokerage, then include your brokerage there out in X area with X brokerage. However, in South Carolina, that's where I'm at, we're not required to say that in our call, okay? It's a quicker identifier to say area. People don't know us name brand by our brokerage. So sometimes that's an interruption too. With who? Who are you with? Okay. Here's the second thing I'll tell you. Because we are not Zillow, we would just want to see you convert the lead. We want to see that you end up with more closing, which is why you're going to get to their criteria, their motivation, their timeline. But when you start by asking for that appointment very quickly, which I know that Zillow wants y'all to do, and trying to get the location and motivation from the beginning, sometimes people clam up, right? And that's not what I want for y'all. I want to see y'all building relationships with more closings, okay? Let's get to the second most common objection that we hear. I'm not interested. I'm not looking. Does anybody have anything that they say right now? Yep, I'm all good. What do we say?
So what I say was is that so it sounds like you found your forever home, and most times people will say, well, no, it's not my forever home, but I'm good right now. And then I'll say, so if it's not your forever home, what would be your forever home, and kind of get them down that path. Sometimes it works. Sometimes people just get pissed off because I ask them that question and they don't know how to answer it. And
Yep. Yep. But I tell you what, I love the forever home question. Every time a seller tells me they're not moving, that's exactly what I tell them. I say, okay, are you one of the lucky few who's in their forever home? I love that. What I like to say at the beginning, when someone says not interested, not looking, y'all know you have 1 second to start talking, or else the call is over. At that point, I say, thanks for telling me. Is that because you already found something, or are you putting it on the back burner? And 9 out of 10 times, they say,
back burner.
Back burner. Of course they say back burner. They haven't found anything yet. That's license to continue the conversation. All right? So I'll repeat that one more time. But you're going to say, is that because you already found something, or because you're putting it on the back burner? Here is your second thing to say after they say back burner. Beautiful. I'll continue to send you listings. I only want to show you what you're interested in. Tell me, are you looking for an investment property or a place for yourself? And now you've gotten them into criteria. All right. Here's the thing about criteria. You and I both know the website has provided you with a little bit of criteria. You're not asking them criteria because there's no way for you to collect that information. You're asking them criteria to disarm them and to get them in a cycle of answering your questions. Okay? If you go through a couple of softballs that are non-threatening, they're more likely to give you a real reasoning in their motivation later. Okay? As a rule of thumb, criteria questions, you need at least 3 before you ask for price range. So what I typically say is, okay, how many bedrooms and bathrooms are you looking for? Softball. All right. And are you looking for a single family home or a condo? You open to both. That's what makes sense in our area. We're Myrtle Beach, right? That's what's most popular. Then I will ask them, is it exclusively Myrtle Beach, or are they open to any other areas? And then I ask, okay, in ballpark, what sort of price range are we looking at? Simple, easy peasy. Okay. Now, what happens if somebody doesn't give you price range? How many of us have ended calls without getting a price? Anybody? Whoops, it was an accident, right? Here's how you're going to double down when someone doesn't give you a price. I say, okay, I tell you what, I don't want to overwhelm you with thousands of results that don't apply to you. What would you say is the absolute maximum in any scenario that you'd ever consider? And that tends to get me the answer I'm looking for, because people roughly know, is it 300,000 or is it 800,000? Those are drastically different. If you still can't get an answer there, which that should be very, very rare. At that point, that's your monthly payment question. Okay, what would you say monthly you would be comfortable at? And typically, the people who really, truly don't know are renting. They don't have an idea of what that hundreds of thousands breaks down to for them, okay? All right, so we've made it through our criteria. Next section is going to be motivation. This is the question that I would have all of you as your most important piece take away, okay? There's going to be 4 questions in motivation. Here's the first one. I haven't asked you the most important question yet. Of all of the reasons for you to make a move, what is it that has you looking in the first place? Here's what I'm going to challenge y'all, okay? The truth is, as an agent in real estate, our priority is, what is it that you want? Do you have the money to get it? And when are you going to get it? So we're so comfortable with criteria, timeline, and the price point, right? Because that's our agenda. That's what we need. Not one person is buying for those reasons. Every single person is buying something for their own individual why. And if you got off the call without getting their why, you were the equivalent of an online portal, just information they could have filled out. I got the timeline, I got all of those things could be checked off and typed inside. There's not one portal saying, tell us the reason, give us the motivation. That is what distinguishes you from their websites that they've been looking at, okay? If you got off the phone without a motivation, I would tell you that they're likely not going to show for our appointments. People, when they talk about themselves, they feel closer to you. That's the funny part, all right? After that first question, this is your second one. Okay, so tell me, day in, day out, after you've made this move, what's the vision? What does life look like? The quality of answer is going to be based on the quality of ask. So if you say, okay, day in, day out, tell me, what's your vision? What does life look like? You're going to get a silly answer, right? But if you go there and let your tone be personal with them, that's the downswing, then you're going to get better results. Okay, so tell me, after you've made this move, day in and day out, what's the vision? What does life look like? All right. Question number 3. Between life right now and after you have made this move, what in life do you want to stay the same? And then question number 4, between life right now and after you've made this move, what in life do you want to be different? I'm going to tell y'all right now, the minimum time in your motivation is 2 minutes. If you didn't get a personal answer, you're not done yet. Someone tell me, downsizing, is that a motivation?
Yes.
Camille. I can't hear you, ma'am. Sorry.
Can you repeat 3 and 4 between life right now?
And after you've made this move, what in life do you want to be the same? And then what in life do you want to be different? But don't ask them together. Ask them separate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Vanna, did I say that correctly? Vanna said yes. No, I'm saying it wrong.
It's
It's
Vanna.
okay. It's Vanna.
Okay. Vanna says yes, downsizing is a motivation. Does everybody agree with that? No? Juan does not agree.
I would say no.
Fred does not agree. Okay. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Downsizing is the outcome. That's not the motivation. They're not moving because they want to downsize. That's what they're going to do. They're going to downsize. But what's the reason they are downsizing? Is it that their kids left the house? They're empty nesters? Is it a mobility issue? Now they can't go up the stairs. Is it oh, we bought this property, we loved all the land on it, but now we can't take care of it. It's a maintenance issue. Those are totally different. That is the motivation to downsizing. So sometimes in your motivation section, your best trick is to ask one word from their last sentence. Okay, and when you say downsizing, why is that important to you? Doesn't matter what they say. Well, we just don't need the space. Okay, and tell me, when you say you don't need the space, what's the new vision then? And keep pulling until your answers get longer. Sometimes it's a word count that you're looking for. 1-word answers, 3-word answers, you're not there yet. The longer your answer gets, the more successful the conversation is going, the more rapport that you are building. All right? Okay. All good there on motivation? Yes? All right. After motivation, now we get into timeline. Okay? The reason that you wait for timeline is because it becomes more flexible after you have their vision and their reason. They might have started off at the beginning telling you, I'm waiting, but by the time they got the chance to voice it all out loud, now all of a sudden they remember the reason they were looking at homes a few hours ago, a few days ago, because they do want to do that, all right? These are your 3 timeline questions. Number 1, and I bet most of you are using this one, okay? If everything goes according to plan, when would you be moved into this next home buy? That's question 1. Moved in. When would you be moved into the next home buy? The mistake that agents make is they stop right there. They say 1 year, got it. And then they say, what did you want me to do, Nikki? They said they're a year out. That's it. What am I supposed to talk to them every day? No, you're supposed to ask them question 2. May I ask what has you waiting? Question 2 every single time. May I ask what has you waiting? All right? It doesn't matter how convincing their answer is. Retirement. Oh, you know, the thing is right now I have so much on my plate. I just can't think about this right now. Who cares what their reason is? We do, they do, but we don't know if it's real yet. That is what we're looking for. So you always ask question 3. This one's wordy, so let's get ready, all right? You're going to say, okay, devil's advocate. Let's say I find you repeat criteria. Devil's advocate, let's say I find you repeat criteria, which allows you to repeat motivation. But instead, it shows up, and you're going to say the month that's 3 months from now, in February. But instead, it shows up in February. Would you want to make a move on it, or would you say 100% that's too soon? And I can't tell you how many people say, well, we could figure it out. Well, I mean, we definitely want to take a look at it. Okay? And I'm going to repeat it one more time. All right? Devil's advocate. Let's say I find you this repeat criteria. 3-bed, 2-bath. It has room in the backyard for the kids to play. It's under $500,000. And there's a play area upstairs, which allows you to get in the school district that you want to get to, which allows you to have a shorter commute so you get more time with your family, which allows you to, you name it, whatever their thing was. But instead it shows up in February, and it's the place you want to call home. Would you want to make a move on it, or would you say 100% that's too soon? That's where you find out, can you build a sense of urgency, or is their reasoning concrete? It'll only take you a couple of times to do all 3 of those questions in order to be able to see, damn, that worked. I would rather y'all be asking all 3 and trying to disprove me. That would work too. Just keep asking them and let me know. Let me know. Nikki, none of them worked for me. I would be so open as long as you're using it. Okay. Now, here's the other two things that I want to highlight in this area. Do not make the mistake of going to that third question without asking the first two. All right. If you say that, let's say that I find you and you use that as your timeline question, you're already tone deaf. You didn't even ask them when they wanted to move. You just asked them according to your agenda to say, okay, well, I want you to get within that 3-month range. So, and you asked without ever asking what their timeline is. That's the first mistake that I see. Don't skip those first two questions. The second mistake that I see is that sometimes we ask without motivation. That sounds salesy. Let's say I find you a 3-bed, 2-bath under 500,000. It comes up in February. Do you want to move on it? It sounds like that's my agenda. You have to say it for their reasoning. Okay. How many of you have been to Olive Garden? Show of hands. Ever been to Olive Garden? Yep. When you get the check, it has a chocolate on it. The reason it has a chocolate on it is because you are more likely to tip well if you have something sweet in your mouth. That's genuinely the reason they put it there. That's what you're doing when you tell them their motivation right before we're going into appointment. You are reminding them of their personal sweet why. That's what the motivation is there. Okay? Now, you've gotten everything you need to know. And either you are going to release it. Sometimes people aren't moving. It's not good for them. They have health issues. All of their family is currently in their area and they're dreaming. That's okay. It's not your responsibility to convert everybody into a buyer. It is your responsibility that if they move here, that they work with you. Some of them, without you, they are genuinely going to have the worst real estate experience of their life because they didn't work with somebody who was qualified and good at their job. That's the truth. That's the reason it's important that you get it right. All right. After that part, now it's time for the appointment setting. Any questions so far?
So here's a question that may or may not be said. How long of a conversation do you think how long do you think it will take approximately to get to that appointment being set? Not that we're pushing that, but how long do you typically see these conversations executed how you've shared taking place?
7 to 13 minutes. The shortest that it can be accomplished is in 5 minutes, and that's a high D personality. Somebody who means business, but there's no fluff.
Yeah, awesome.
Yep. After 13 minutes, it's beautiful, it's lovely, but y'all could have set another appointment in that amount of time. You don't need more than 13. That's a good question.
Can you do me a favor, Nikki?
Yep.
Just kind of walk through the timeline one more time. I wrote it down, but it helps me when I hear it to kind of put it in my own words. So that would be great if you can go through that one more time, please.
Yep, I'm going to say all three of them again. One thing I'll challenge you on, Dominic, if you're open to it, when you first use it, don't tweak it. When we're trying to make it our own, we get mixed results because we're saying it differently every single time. So start the first 10 times and use it this way, then make it your own words. No problem at all, okay? But for the first 3, here we go. Number 1. Okay, well, if everything goes according to plan, when would you be moved into this next home buy? That's question number 1. If everything goes according to plan, when would you be moved into this next home buy? Question number 2. Okay, may I ask what has you waiting? May I ask what has you waiting? Question number 3. All right, devil's advocate. Let's say that I find you repeat criteria, which allows you to repeat motivation. But instead, it shows up in February. Would you want to make a move on it, or would you say 100%? That's too soon. Now, the one thing I want to highlight to y'all on that last question, notice I'm not saying perfect home. What does perfect home mean? Nothing. It's fictional. When you say their vision back to them, that's real. You're describing the perfect home to them, all right? And on that third question, If you feel any level of hesitation, that's okay. Just don't say 90 days. That's where people struggle to see what's happening. We identify important holidays, birthdays, etc. in a certain month. That's the reason that we say, what happens if I find it in February rather than in 90 days, okay? Not in 3 months, in February. Deal. All good there? My nose is running like it has a marathon, like it has somewhere to be.
No worries, no worries. One question is, all of the scripts, I've got this recorded that I'm going to share with my team and folks that aren't here, so I can transcribe it. But do you guys have a one-pager or any resources? I know the Facebook page. If not, it's okay. I'll transcribe it myself, but didn't know if I know this is a Nikki special, but
I don't think I have a one pager. I will make one because I know what it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
for sure.
Yeah, this is gold. Lots of great feedback and reactions, and it's a great tool to add to the arsenal. So yeah, this has all been great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
Any other thoughts?
Any other questions, y'all? Are we good to continue? And I just want to clarify, I know y'all have this meeting set for 1 hour. Do y'all have other plans during the meeting?
So it's a free flow. So you take as much time as you need. If you've got a hop, that's cool. We'll recap. Our end time is 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay. I just want us to go ahead and touch on appointment asking so we can get into the good stuff, all right? Now you've made it through all of what you need. Is there more than one way to ask for an appointment? Absolutely, 100%. Is there more than one way to accomplish getting the information you need? Absolutely, right? I'm just going to tell you what works for me. Now, when I ask for an appointment, I start by future pacing it, okay? Which sounds something like this. Okay, so Ashley, when we do find homes that you want to take a look at, are typically weekdays or weekends going to be better for you? And they don't realize they're already telling me what the appointment time is going to be. All right? Okay, and are typically mornings or evenings going to be better for you? Beautiful. It sounds like when the right thing comes up, you are ready to make a move. The natural next step would be for us to meet face to face. I feel like I already know you, but if you find that we're the best fit for each other, then I'm so excited to start this journey with you. Tell me, how would, and you're going to ask for the time that they just said. They said evenings during weekdays. Great. How would this evening at 6 p.m. be for you? They said weekends in the morning. How would Saturday at 10 a.m. be for you? You're going to repeat back what the ask was. All right? The mistake that I see sometimes is y'all offer 2 times, but you made up the 2 times. You said, okay, well, on my calendar, I have this and this available, and you're just taking shots in the dark. And we sound a little egocentric when we say, I'm free, my calendar, so we're not going to use those words, all right? This is the you approach. If you find that we're the best fit for each other, it'd be awesome to meet face to face. All right. The natural next step would be for you and I to meet in person. Okay. All good there? Any questions on that appointment ask? Now here's what. Some people, they're going to tell you no. They're going to tell you no. And when they tell you no, do not make the mistake of re-asking right now. Okay, well, the thing is, we're supposed to meet because I made it through my script. No, clearly the truth is whatever you said to get them there wasn't enough. And because it wasn't enough, you're going to drop the appointment ask and you're going to go into more questions. Okay, well, tell you what, remind me, was there anybody that was making this move with you? Okay, and I meant to ask earlier, is there a maximum HOA you want me to be aware of? And just start re-asking questions until you hear something that you can use, okay? Is there anybody making this move with you? And remind me, you want to, let's say that they're buying because They want to be closer to somebody. How often are you visiting them as of now? Okay, and after you've made this move, how much time do you think you'd be spending visiting them then? Okay, you see, this is exactly why we should meet. I tell people all the time, this is your line. This is the one you save. I tell people all the time, this is the sort of process that somebody can start too late, but there's no such thing as starting too early. Then you go in for your re-ask, all right? But you wait until you hear something you can use, and then you go a second time. If they've told you no twice, we're done asking for a face-to-face. If you feel really confident that this person needs an appointment, settle for a Zoom, settle for a virtual. If you can't get that, you minimally need your next phone call set. If you do not have a next step, you don't have anything. That's the truth. Okay. Any questions on the appointment ask? Now, on a seller, instead of saying whenever we see homes that you want to take a look at, are typically X or X going to be better? With a seller, you would say, okay, and when we talk again, are typically weekdays or weekends going to be better for you? Okay, and are typically mornings or evenings going to be better for you? And you're still going to ask them for the appointment. You're just future pacing because that's how people answer your questions. If you say, okay, I want us to meet, are typically weekdays or weekends better? Clam up. Most people are like, I don't know. I didn't think we'd have to go this far. They remember it's a sales call, okay? Last little tip, and then we'll call it good because I don't want to overload us. Avoid saying the word buy, purchase, or sell as often as you can. Those are sales words, and remind people that they're on a cold call. In place of that, 100% of the time, you could be saying make a move. Okay, what had you wanted to make the move? And would you want to make the move at this time? And would you want to make the move, make the move, make the move? That's the word you're looking for, okay? Oh, I see the chat has been going.
Sorry, just quotables.
I know I said that was the last thing, but there is one more thing, and then I promise we're calling it for sure. But let's just say, for example, it's Monday or Tuesday, and someone tells you weekends in the mornings are best. Well, that's excellent. Get them to commit to that time. Beautiful. I'm looking forward to meeting you. But before you let them go, this is your next quotable. Time kills deals. Time kills deals. That's too far away. So you should still ask for a sooner time. Well, I tell you what, Chris, I feel like I already know you. Is there any chance that you might have time even this afternoon? I'm going to be doing showings in your area. I'd love the chance to stop by. All right? Anything that gets you the chance to get with them sooner, you ask for it. You have not because you ask not. So I'm telling y'all right now, if it's a Saturday thing, excellent. Don't wave it off. However, still be willing to ask for a sooner meeting, okay? Okay, now that's it.
Well, first of all, Nikki, this is exponentially just amazing and informative, and personally, you know, I've been in real estate a couple years, and this is still just great value add. And so last couple of minutes, I know she's busy. This is a gift. She's a very busy woman. So any other questions or any other thoughts or anything? And I connected, I think, most of our agents to the Facebook page as well. I know she does some webinars and things there as well that will be helpful. Any questions or Nikki, anything you want to share about events or anything you guys have going on at EZ Home Search?
Yeah,
one thing. Can you give us the Facebook again?
I sent the group page. I sent
Okay.
invites for those of you I'm friends with on Facebook, and if I'm not friends with you on Facebook, it's your problem.
I was going to tell y'all event-wise, every 2 weeks, we have something called a Winning Wednesday. And I'll be hosting our next Winning Wednesday this upcoming Wednesday. And so that's something that we could all attend together. But what I was going to tell you separate from that is it's not always me. So you got more talented people just sharing their wealth of knowledge. So those Winning Wednesdays are a good one.
Can I ask you real quick, Nikki, about like pace and tone and inflection when you not even necessarily when you get the first call, although I do want to talk about that, but like when you are following up with clients that may, that, we have a thing called a pond or Shark Tank, and you're following up with those clients who maybe we didn't get the first time, but you're calling them back and you finally get them on the phone. And sometimes I feel like I want to kind of like hurry up and say what I have to say to get them to like listen. Can you talk a little bit about how you deal with that?
Yes. So two things there, and some of this I know that y'all know, and just we need the echo of it. But you're more likely to convert a lead if you talk like them. So if somebody's talking very fast, I pick up my pace. I start talking really fast. Oh my God, you're totally speaking my language. I'm going there with them, right? If somebody is slow, I slow down. You need to match. That's your best chance. People feel like they know you, and people want to work with people that they like. So you're going to match their energy each time. If I have someone who's being super strict, my voice gets super strict. I am matching their energy. The only thing that I will tell you is that as you go through this, the thing that we're controlling or managing is called disruptive emotions. That's where we actually freak out about what we're asking, or we feel that they're getting impatient. Your disruptive emotions start kicking. That's where we start to talk really fast, but the person is not. If you can control your disruptive emotions, that's where you get it. And I'll tell you right now, I know when someone says, I'm all good, not interested, that they're ready to hang up. So I purposefully start fast, but I end slow, because slow speaking communicates credibility. Okay? So I say, oh, thanks for telling me. But that's the only thing I say fast. Thanks for telling me. Is that because you already found something, or are you putting it on the back burner? And by the time the sentence is over, I've already slowed back down. All right? That is you being conscious of how the other person is experiencing the call. The more slow that you speak, even if you're like, I think I'm talking like molasses,
I'm good. How are you?
that communicates credibility. Okay? And your inflection, as we're talking about this, your inflection on questions always needs to be down. If you're not doing a downswing, it sounds like, okay, what had you looking? And you go up. That sounds like a novice, right? Okay, tell me, what is it that had you looking? Downswing, credibility. I'm going to tell you, in your personal lives, use that same technique. It should feel weird to you to go up in a question. We don't do that in real life. If someone asks, you're having a party, and someone says, can I go? And you say, yeah, sure. You didn't plan on inviting that person. You just freaked out, right? But if someone says that you have a party, right, and they say, can I go? And you say, yes, you have to go. That's somebody you wanted to invite. Your tone naturally goes down when you mean business, when you mean what you're saying. We only go up when we didn't mean it.
I bet you guys didn't know that when you got your real estate license, you would have to become experts at psychoanalysts, psychoanalyzing people in psychology.
We call them singing lessons.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Awesome, awesome. Well, Nikki, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. We're gonna recap this conversation. I'm gonna send it out to the team, and hopefully, first of the year or so, we'll circle back with you, should your schedule permit, of course, and hopefully we'll be able to show some progress from our Easy Home Search. I would love to have some of our agents share some testimonials of how what you've shared with us, how they implemented it into their business. And to further validate your credibility. So we appreciate you. And then I will connect with you about the one pager and that sort of thing. That would be super helpful, not just for our team, but I think we've got you guys in two or three different with two or three of our expansion teams, and so I'm sure that they love that as well. So, but yeah, but you don't have to meet with them. You can just meet with us.
Okay, deal. Deal.
Can I ask a question before she hops off, please?
Mhm.
Nikki, for you to get to this point of your career, was there a lot of role playing involved on a daily consistency? I
Yeah.
feel like I asked that specifically because we have the freedom to dial into a phone number and role play with random agents. However, I do think that is needed really for us to, as a team, have at least 2-3 days a week where we're role playing and we're getting to know who's strong and what they're strong in and how we could learn and how we could share. I know that with the way you were talking, you had hours and hours of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And just so you know, I would recommend that at the beginning, at a minimum, while y'all are trying to keep up all of the good techniques, don't wear down and get tired. You should be doing it a minimum of 20 minutes, 3 days a week, at a minimum. Okay. And here's what I'll tell y'all, professional athletes, do you think that they play more or they practice more? They practice. That's the truth. That game time is so little. You see the best results of all they did to prepare themselves. And for you, if this is your craft and this is what you are working to make sure that your life is different, you shouldn't wear tired of doing the same role play and hearing somebody again and doing it again. That is you perfecting your craft.
Yeah. And we have some former D1 players on our team, so that makes sense. We get it. So, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, all right, awesome. Well, Nikki, thank you so much. Team, we'll stick around for 10 minutes to debrief, and then I've got to hop on another meeting. But thank you so much, Nikki. You have a great day. Feel better. I think it's the cat, though. Have a good one. Wow. Talk to me.
That was awesome.
I'm going to pause it because I think Jeremy's going to steal this recording and send it out to other teams.